edition of your program, the newspaper review program right here on Newsbuster NGTV. This is where we bring to your viewing pleasure all the news that has made its way to the front pages of our Nigerian and national dailies. My name is Olayinka Olatunji, saying many thanks for joining us this morning. Of course, I am not alone, like I always say. I'm with my partner in progress. Like when I did japa for Nigeria like this. Sometimes when people want to japa alpha, when people want to japa like this, they don't get to, tell their friends that I want to japa. Oh, you don't see say you don't see picture.
Like you're always very funny all the time.
No, maybe when you want to japa now, you will not tell me.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, our viewers. Good morning, our audience watching us all over the country, across the globe. We say a beautiful morning to you from the city of Lagos here in Nigeria. We are here to our regular business on daily basis as we unfold our daily newspapers and review what transpired within our nation. Yes, with me here I have the New Telegraph and also the This Day newspaper today.
All right, I'll be looking at the Nation newspaper, the Punch, and the Guardian newspaper. And if you look at the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning, it is quite bulky. As CJN to Election Tribunal judges, don't be reckless. You can find that on page 5 of the Nation newspaper this morning.
As you also agree with me, from New Telegraph newspaper today, it carries a lot of headlines. Having election petition, we have battling 600 cases. INEC.
All right, talking about election, talking about politics and politicians. I would reclaim my mandate, says Governor Oyetola.
2023, IGP orders release of bulletproof vest. Orders to personnel ahead of 2023 general election.
All right, I hope we get one in Newsbuster because we need it when we want to report.
For our coverage.
Yes, women, farmers, artisans, others unite for Tinubu.
Also from the front page of the New Telegraph today, UK police arraign Ekweremadu wife daughter over alleged organ harvesting.
And things are getting hotter with the PDP party as nobody can break our ranks. Wike, Othom, Makinde, others insist and says to hell with Atiku and anyone supporting him. They should go and tell him anybody supporting Atiku is an enemy of Benue. My people are being killed and you want me to be quiet? Well, this is Benue State Governor. You can find that on page 28 of the Nation newspaper this morning.
Also, let me also join you to the politics. PDP crisis. Atiku, Hayu, boycott Guba campaign. Flag off in Benue.
And as Atiku and Ayu boycott gubernatorial campaigns in Benue, Obi is threatening that he would boycott future debates organized for presidential candidates in Nigeria.
And I also think that should be her point of discussion this morning because that has been the issue ravaging the air since yesterday and over the weekend when the APC presidential candidate refused to attend the Arise TV competition.
I feel like nobody is above the law.
Yes, definitely. Because at this point, Nigerians need to know what do you have in your agenda. Let's know your view, your determination before come 2023. Not you sending your spokesperson for you to come and represent. And also Atiku wasn't present at the Arise TV debate, which has aggravated a lot of comments and arguments on social media, even one-on-one at the newspaper stand. You could see a lot of people telling us different stories of what happened over the weekend. For the presidential candidate not to have attended the debate, because we see only Obi from the Labour Party presidential candidate and also Kwankwaso of Kano representing Nigeria People's Party, and when we'll get there, we'll talk about more.
All right, Abuja Kaduna train service resumes this month. says the federal government. What do you think about that?
To the transportation
You know,
sector, I
after
think
like
it's a
I think
plus.
after like about 7 months of being on break.
Due to the ugly incidents that occurred a couple of months back when passengers were apprehended by the bandits.
But are we ready though?
Well, to some extent, based on the IGP's record and what is found at Kalibaba, the Inspector General of Police is trying to do presently now. At least security threats to Nigerians has come to something of past. To me, at least, if not all, at least 80%.
Okay.
Yes. And I also, on this note, I also give kudos to National Security Advisor to the President in person of Major General retired Babangana Monguno for him to have also met the Senate Chairman Committee on Security Matters over the week, deliberating on how to look for the way forward, how to curb the spread of crime within our domain. I think our security chiefs are doing something, including the Air Force and the Army
but I do
and
hope
Navy.
I do hope people will come out and still.
But believe you me, within this week now that just started, the kingpin of the Sambisa forest has just been killed based on the effort of the Nigerian Air Force and the Navy, coupled with the Army. It was a joint task force.
President Muhammadu Buhari is saying that he would leave a Nigeria that is security, fortified. And with the news of the kingpin, as Abayomi has said, of Sambisa Forest being killed, I hope we are going there, to the permanent sites. All right, still looking at the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. Buhari ready to intervene in ASUU's half-salary matters, says Gbajabiamila.
Also from the This Day newspaper this morning, Okonjo-Iweala, do coupling not answer to climate crisis?
Marafa Ayobo sure of victory for APC's presidential candidate next year.
Also from the upward of the This Day newspaper this morning, security strategy against non-state actors yielding results, says Monguno, just like we said earlier before now, that Monguno is doing all it could do to curb the spread of criminality within our country.
And COP27, UN unveils $3 billion plan to achieve early warming system.
And also from the New Telegraph this morning, CBN credits to banks in 6 months rose to 103.2% to 4.52 trillion.
Okay, education, they say, is the key to a better future. And of course, talking education, let's quickly look at ASUU and, of course, Gbajabiamila state of the half-salary payments to the university lecturers. President Muhammadu Buhari will reserve the complaints by the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, over the payment of only half of their October salary by the federal government. And the House of Representatives Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, who revealed this yesterday, appealed to the union members to remain calm. ASUU President Professor Emmanuel Osodike had at the weekend fled the half-pay, saying it was regrettable that the federal government was treating university teachers like casual workers. To get more on the story, pick up the Nation's newspaper.
Also, let me join you to the educational sector, saying Academic Staff Union of University, ASUU, to federal government set up joint committee to address IPPI's peculiarity. Details of that story can be found on page 2 and 5 of the New Telegraph this morning.
Okay, picking the Punch newspaper right away. The terror, UK wants citizens to avoid 22 states. That is, of course, on page 35 of the Punch newspaper.
From New Telegraph this morning, Obi will no longer debate with surrogates, delegates, reps, Labour Party to other presidential candidates. Details of that story can be found on page 3 and page 26.
Make una dey calm down. Calm down. And the Bauchi governor demands Atiku's apology. That is on page 35 of the Punch newspaper.
WHO, World Health Organization, predicts pandemic deadlier than COVID-19.
And 2023 elections, INEC laments tough times.
As G5, Govs inaugurates autumn's project. Voting PDP in 2023 is life and death. ASUU.
Okay, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed concern about the challenges it is facing as it prepares for the 2023 election. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, while appearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters, said that the recent flooding across the nation had destroyed no fewer than 20 offices of the commission. The chairman of the electoral umpire, while appearing before the House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters to defend the budget proposed by the Commission in the 2023 appropriation bill, said the development had forced the agencies to begin to look for new office space in new locations in some states. He said, "We have office rents and residential rents. So many of our offices were attacked and some actually flooded after the recent flood. We have 20 offices in the situation after the recent flood." You can catch more on that story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper.
2023 campaign. Obi will no longer debate with surrogates, others, Labour Party. The Labour Party said the president candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, will no longer debate with any surrogate or delegate representation in debate or town hall meetings meant for presidential candidates, describing such a diversionary director general of Obidati campaign, organization of Doyin Okukwe, at a press conference said this has become necessary because what he described as growing trend or norm, where other presidential candidates send their running mates to events organized for presidential candidates. Okukwe recalled that last August, All Progressive Congress APC candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu sent his vice president candidate Kashim Shettima to represent him at the annual bar conference of the Nigerian Bar Association. Okupe noted that this was repeated in September when the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, invited the major presidential candidate to interact with them on their economic and general policy initiative and replude to the presidential election. While His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi and other invited candidates appears in person, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress sent his vice president to represent him, which will no longer be tolerated by any other presidential candidates.
And of course, 138 days, daughter in court, Ekweremadu, still in prison. The former deputy president of Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, has spent 138 days in the custody of authorities in the United Kingdom over human trafficking. The lawmaker was arrested in June 2022 at the Hebrew Airport in London and was immediately arraigned before a magistrate court for allegedly bringing a child into the country to allegedly harvest his organs. He has been in custody of the UK authorities since June 23rd, while his wife, Beatrice Ekweremadu, who was also arrested alongside the lawmaker, was granted bail by a criminal court in London. Meanwhile, his daughter, Sonia, appeared in court on Monday over the accusation of trafficking a homeless man into the UK to harvest his organ for herself. The young man had reported the Staines police station shortly after arriving in the UK, which led to the arrest of the lawmaker and his wife, claiming subjection of some medical tests, none of which he consented to. Pleas which were to be entered today were delayed due to further arguments, and the continuation of the trial earlier stated for May had now been brought back to January 31st. Now this matter is beginning to tire apart. Let me put it that way. Like a Yoruba person would say,
and also it's here from the page 2 of New Telegraph this morning. 2023, we are battling with 600 cases, says INEC. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said it's battling over 600 legal cases ahead of 2023 general election. The chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, revealed this yesterday at the capacity building workshop for over 300 judges scheduled to handle election disputes in Abuja. According to him, most cases of INEC related to the primaries. Yakubu said they are not supposed to be battling with pre-election matters, but concentrate on the preparation for the election. Details of that story can be found on page 2, New Telegraph today.
And of course, low enrollment, migration, flooding hordes, Ogun village schools.
Still in politics, PDP crisis. Atiku, how you boycott Guban campaign flag off in Benue. They appear to be the hand in sight in the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as the national chairman of the party, Dr. Iyo Chahai, and the party presidential candidate in the next year general election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, yesterday boycott the flag off of the party's governorship campaign in Benue State. In contrast, the group of the 5 aggrieved governors, G5, of the major opposed to the leadership of Hayu and the state of the for the event. Members of the G5, including Ilyoshan Wike of the River State, Okeze Ikpeazu of Abia State, Sheyi Makinde for your state, and Ifeanyi Aguiyi were there in the solidarity with their colleagues, Governor Samuel Ortom, and witnessed the inauguration of the various road and electricity projects executed by the administration in Benue State. The governor also witnessed the symbolic handover of the party flags to the Speaker of the Benue State House of Assembly, Honorable Titus Theophane Umba, and Sir John Ngbede, former state chairman of the PDP, who are also the governorship candidate and the running mate, respectively, for the next year general election.
And Obi threatens to boycott future debates over absence of other presidential candidates. Labour Party's LP's presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, has said he will not attend a debate if his counterparts in other parties do not show up. The Director General of Obi Dati Campaign Organization, Doyin Okupe, said this yesterday on behalf of Mr. Obi. Okupe, who addressed reporters yesterday in Abuja, knocked the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, for sending his running mate and Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to represent him at the town hall meeting organized by Arise Television on Sunday. The presidential candidate of New Nigerian People Party, NNPP, Dr. Rabiu Kwankwaso, and that of the People's Redemption Party, PRP, Mr. Kola Abiola, were present during the town hall meeting, while all the Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate Asiwaju Bola Tinubu and his running mate Senator Kashim Shettima were absent.
And also from here, federal government confirms resumption of Abuja Kaduna train services. 8 months after the attack on Abuja Kaduna train services, the federal government said necessary safety and security measures has been taken and has been put in place for resumption of the service this month. The attack, which took place on March 28, led to the death of 9 passengers and kidnap of 62 others, and huge sum of money paid before their release. Minister of Transportation Malam Muazu Jaji Sambo, at joint press conference with Minister of Information and Culture Alhaji Lai Mohammed, also disclosed that the federal government is to start the process leading to the construction of the rail line from Abuja to take part with a branch line to Baro, which is a plus to Federal Ministry of Transportation and the security apparatus due to the joint effort in putting hands to curb the spread of criminality within our domain.
All right, talking about transportation, you would agree with me that without petrol, a movement from one point to another would not be possible. Petrol may hit 250 liters, 50 naira per liter, despite 4 trillion naira subsidy. Ipman says a depot price now 100 naira per litre. The current scarcity of a premium motor spirit PMS across the country may worsen, pushing up pump price to 250 naira per litre despite payment of over 4 trillion naira subsidy in the 2022 budget. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, NNPC, the sole importer of petrol, is reportedly without the product as most of its stations, including the newly acquired Oando outlet, were empty yesterday. Marketers adjusted their price to 118 naira per litre against the official price of 165 naira, with the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPMAN, telling The Guardian that export price has now been moved to 190 naira per litre. Word review is imminent. You can see more on that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper.
And also with me here from the same New Telegraph, page 6 this morning, OU students, murder, court adjourned till December 1 for amendment of charges. And Osun State High Court sitting in Osogbo yesterday had adjourned till December 1st and December 2 to allow amendment of charges by the parties concerned in the ongoing trial of Rahim Adedoyin and other 6. The news agency of Nigeria reports that Adedoyin and 6 others defendants were alleged to have murdered a postgraduate student of Obafemi Awolowo University of Ile-Ife, Osun State, Timothy Adegoke. The 6 others facing murder charges are Magdalene Shifuna, Adeniyi Aderogba, Oluwole Florence, Oyetunde Kazeem, Adebayo Kunle, and Adedeji Adeshola. The prosecution counsel, Mr. Femi Falana, was granted leave to amend his charges. The 18 charges were the 18 charges were read, and Adedoyin pleaded not guilty to the charges, along with 6 others defendants. Justice Adepele Ojo, who gave the ruling, said she was eager to finish the case and ensure that justice took the center stage, despite the rumor being peddled about the proceeding of the court.
And the G5 PDP governors not relenting in fight with ASUU and Atiku come election 2023. That is on the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning.
3 dead, 3 injured in Lagos about the expressway accident. The 3 people have died, while 3 others suspected trained varied degrees of injuries in an incident of Lagos about the expressway. The accident occurred before first AP turning of the highway in the early hours of yesterday. The public education officer of the Federal State Corps, Ogun State Sector Command, Florence Okpe, confirmed the accident to journalists. According to her, the accident involved a Toyota Sienna with the registration number DKP 60LG and the tanker. The Cooper disclosed that the accident involved 6 persons, 4 males and 2 females adults. And that's to tell you that a lot is happening presently as we speak due to the Ember month. And I sincerely, if you could agree with me, there's nothing special in Ember month, but people take it so serious as if
There's already an affiliation
and a phobia,
yes,
for the Ember month, which
bad omen
ideally is quite no different from the other couple of months we've spent so far. So we seize the opportunity to urge motorists, commuters, to always at least drive slowly while on the highway. And the issue of you overtaking one another, always trafficate and give a sign of traffic while driving, because this has claimed a lot of lives of unknown who told the family and friends, relatives that they are going and coming back unknowingly. People lost their life without returning back home. And on this note, let's take a look of what NDLEA has for us concerning what people are doing in respect of human drug trafficking and cocaine.
And nice to have you back. This is, of course, a newspaper review program on Newsbuster NGTV, right here in the city of Lagos State, Nigeria. And before we went on that break, we talked about the news making their ways to our front pages of the dailies. And of course, on the second half of the program, today, this is where we'll be beaming our searchlights on, as Obi has threatened to boycott future debates, if as there's over the weekend, Arise Television organized a town hall meeting where
Yes, a debate,
proposed
yes.
presidential candidates come 2023 general elections should appear, and of course drop their manifestos, tell us what it is that they have in stock for us if being elected as the next president. But then over the town hall meeting. It wasn't even supposed to be something serious. It was supposed to, just something you can just casually attend. Even in a civilized and developed countries, we see, citizens organize debates for, party members, aspirators of, political positions to come and, tender the blueprints and tell us what it is that they want to, do. And, by so doing, you get to pick, your candidates and like, okay, I like the way Yomi is speaking. I think he's going to be the next president and he's going to be very good. But then what happens when such an event is organized and you don't just see people go
Based
there?
on the APC spokesperson in person of Festus Keyamo, recently reiterated and he responded to the fact that APC presidential candidates could not make it to that debate, which is very obvious. And at this point in time, I do think there should be any necessary argument or a comment, or let me say, scheduled that will warrant him not to have attended such
It
debate,
is not even the
because
first time they are doing that.
Nigerians is looking and watching
Hmm.
up to all of the presidential candidates, or irrespective of your parties, because in the past couple of years back, especially some administrations that Nigeria have now, we are experiencing a lot, but let's boycott that. But nevertheless, you as a person coming up for a particular aspiring to become a president of this country, I think nothing disturbing you for you not
Yes,
to have
you
attended
shouldn't be scared
such
to
huge
face
and
your people.
laudable debate, because I could see no reason why Peter Obi agitating that henceforth, if such debates are being organized by any other media firm or any parastatals or any agencies, that he himself in person has a very tight schedule, that he wouldn't grant such interview anymore,
Because he cannot
because
continue
he
to
wouldn't have wasted his resources,
he
his
called them
time, and
surrogates.
yeah, he called them surrogate. That why must they be sending the surrogate to come and represent them? Why not them aspiring to become the president of this our dear nation, for them to come and talk
I
and
feel like
let people
no one is too big for the
let the
people.
Nigerians know what you have in the stock for you. Let the Nigerians know what you have to deliver. It's not about you saying, okay, you are so, you have this, you have this, you have that, you have that. But let's know the level of your competency, and let's know the level of where the next level Nigeria you are taking us to. Because like what Nigerians have experienced in the past two administrations now is not palatable at all.
Hmm.
I'm seizing this opportunity to always at least implore and urge all our politicians from up to the down to always oblige people's call. When you come on you, a lot of people have hope on such debates. Believe in me, when I was coming this morning, people were just deliberating, discussing on this same issue we are talking now, which I believe it has spread across and appeals to people's on different opinions and different point of views.
Now,
Because people are just like, what might have happens to Asiwaju for him not to have appeared?
my take on this issue is I don't want to say Nigerians, but as a couple of persons do not know the meaning of a leader. Let me start by saying that I believe that a leader is someone who is ready to lay himself down to serve. Now, when you're leading, you're more like someone that is feeding the people looking up to you. You are the one that is serving them. They are not the one that are supposed to be serving you. Now, when you in Nigeria, our leaders tend to want to see themselves as the Messiah. I am up, and there's no other thing that can come to me. I feel like when you want people to actually vote for you, you have to come down to their understanding. You have to serve them, you have to listen to them, you have to do their biddings. It is not possible for one man to sit at the helms of affair and believe that you know everything that is going on in the country or around you. The number of people that you are going to even face in a community debate is not even up to half of the numbers of the people who are looking forward to hearing what you have to say to them.
And forgetting the fact that people are also watching from the diaspora.
Yes.
The Western world are also watching. Because I said a lot of people were also now saying, if Asiwaju could not have appeared before the debate, why must he send a representative? And why is it that is he now sending a representative at a dying minute?
According to a news credited to him, I think over the week, he said there would not be any debate organized that he will be there. And I'm like, okay, I want to know the reason why. Because you people just keep insulting yourself, you keep seeing faults in one another.
And at the end,
your spokespersons keep, trashing out one party or the other.
And it's part of the reason why people are even saying, why must they be using Lagos as a base of the campaign? For them not to have appeared, even Atiku himself of the PDP, a lot of people are also saying the other side of him, saying, okay, him as a party leader, as a party presidential candidate that couldn't settle his own home. And for him not to have even now to appear in that same debate, testifying that it has nothing to offer the country, it has nothing to do to the country. A lot of agitations and
yes, I feel like
public opinions.
The people's priority is supposed to be your watchword.
Because at this point now, I think this is the high time Nigerians need to decide and determine the fate of this nation come 2023, because we really need a governance that will be very open. The accountability and transparency is what we are after. Let's see that physical accountability. Let's hear from you.
Most of our leaders go to events and public places with written speech. Speeches that they didn't even write for themselves.
Meanwhile, most of them must have gone through rehearsal upon rehearsal,
You don't expect
before they now come to the
what
public.
Is in your mind for you. So when you go to a place like this, I can remember sometimes in 2016 or was it 2017 before the US general election, the presidential election there, where we had Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, when they were trying to knock heads together, and there was a debate, and both of them came and they trashed it all down. I believe that if people like this are like world leaders, they are exemplary leaders, they can do things like this. What would even stop you from coming out and like, okay, this is what I want to do for the people? Now, it is not about what if you are being invited to different places, across the country. Are you saying that you are too busy? Are you saying that we won't know? Now, when you go to public places to speak, people write your your speeches for you. You go there, you just read it. That is why you see some of them, when they are reading, they tend to want to make mistakes because, okay, what is this thing that this person has written here? You don't know. But we want it from your head. Just drop it. Okay, my name is Olayinka Olatunji. I want to be the next president of Nigeria. I believe that I can work on security. Security, you give us, the A's and the B's and the C's that are underneath it, and tell us how you feel you can cover security challenges, corruption, and the likes of it. Let us hear it from you, because you hold people accountable for what they say.
You know the funniest part? When this administration we have now about coming in 2015, the major point agenda was to come and fight corruption. Corruption, as we speak today in Nigeria, is still the same way he met it.
It's worse.
I recalled vividly very well when Jonathan was there. Then, when he pointed out 7-point agenda, I didn't know if you can also remember. We talk of electricity, rehabilitation of roads, security.
Was it Jonathan or Yaradua?
Yaradua. He turned doing it before he was late along the line. Before Jonathan now took over.
Took it up.
And when Jonathan now fully become the president, before he now came in again as the president, he still said the 7-point agenda laid by his predecessor, which is Yaradua. And Yaradua, to the best of my knowledge, at least Yaradua is doing fantastically well then, before it passed on. And Jonathan took over. When Jonathan took over, you know, as government, it has the settings, and you can't do it alone. It has to be you as a president, your ministers, the governors, coupled with the coupled with the state house of assemblies across the nation. These are the people that formulate government. Meanwhile, and if you are to say government, how are you sitting down here? We have our role also to play, because we're also part of this governance. In the sense that we are trying to inform, educate, and entertain the public as a communicator. Now, what we are saying here is, let's get it right. It is another high time for Nigerians to know our next action plan, to know our fate, because I must bet you what I saw in the newspapers today is quite alarming. Having seen that INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, it's him alone having 600 pending cases
in court
on primary election matters. In fact, I didn't even know the kind of program to quantify that way, because it's worrisome. It's worrisome. And I also urge our politicians, from the down to the up, irrespective of whom you are, from top to bottom, let's always oblige calls. Let's always oblige messages. Let's always oblige invitations, because the Western world are watching. The international community are watching. Observers are here. Then you see, this has also contributed to people moving out of the country based on these security matters. Talk of Twitter now. Talk of ExxonMobil. Talk of Kadri Bonvita. They are not here in this country. They've left. Since there is no conducive environment to thrive the businesses. And with this now, our economy is also going down. This can't take us to anywhere. Our politicians, Nigerians, be wise, and let's know follow at this point in time. We are not here to console or to campaign for any, but let your parents do your tool to replicate and determine who to be the next president of this country, because Nigerians are tired, and I'm most sincere. We can't continue like this.
All right, from me, myself, and I this morning, before I leave on the show, I'd like to leave you with these thoughts. First, in a home, I think the first institution for a child to learn is the family. Now, when you talk of the head of the family, it is the father. If you want to be a president in Nigeria or in any country, whichever country it is that you're watching us from, you have to first, bring out the fatherly attributes and characteristics in you before you can come out and say, okay, I want to be father to all. And being a father means that you're also being a child, because you have to always listen to your child. You have to understand them. You have to sometimes do their biddings to make your home a peaceful one. A leader is someone who listens to his followers. Coming to debate and dropping your blueprint or your manifestos, I don't believe is a big deal. The least or the highest time you can have on the podium is about an hour. I don't think it would hurt you Some of you will spend 4 years in government, others will spend 8 years in government, and you can't take 1 hour of your time to tell us what it is you have in mind for you. Life is not a bed of roses. You know, when you give, you collect. You don't rob Peter to pay Paul. I'd say that Nigerians, just as my partner says, that let your PVC work for you. Vote wisely and let's all know where we're going to. Politicians, do put in mind our interests because we are definitely the future of the greater Nigeria. My name is Olayinka Olatunji, saying many thanks for joining us this morning. Until next time when we come your way, again, I leave you in the hands of God for maximum blessings.
And also from me here, don't also forget to subscribe, like, comment. Let's hear it from you. Give us your own opinion. Let's know the way forward. Subscribe to Newsbuster NGTV. Just go to your YouTube channel, Newsbuster TV. Subscribe, like, share our videos, and comment. Let's hear from you back to know the next level. From here, we shall be dropping the curtain today. Till next episode of this newspaper review, I remain my humble self, Isaac Abayomi Ajiboye, saying bye for now.